do you have a company that you would recommend, as far as getting your yard signs and your door hangers and all that stuff?
Yep. Using marketing. But if you have the money to afford 2000, China. So UZ marketing is going to charge you 250 a pop. China is going to charge you 75.90 cents, but you have a minimum order quantity of 2,000. Some of them do 1,000. Some of them are 2,000. But if you got the money to bulk order yard signs from China, definitely do that. Alibaba, and I have the vendor. You can hit me up later for this, but I'd recommend getting 5,000 yard signs if you can at 75 cents a pop. You'll thank me later.
Wow. And then my next question is, you have so much knowledge, bro, in this digital atmosphere and all that. And is there somewhere where people could, do you offer any kind of coaching services or anything like that?
So I have a course. It's 500 bucks, but as far as coaching, no. But I am running a 3-month mentoring class starting in November. If you invest $5,000 into autopilot, you get the software for 3 months. You get my course. You get access to me for a year. You get an 80-page website. You get some SEO. You get 3 months of mentoring, which I teach all of this digital stuff: SEO, automations, marketing, scraping, mass emailing. 9 instructors, including Matt and JoJo, are teaching a class. Kevin Hess is teaching a class. Toby, I need to actually have Toby Stubbs on there too.
That's my man, commercial insurance,
Yeah,
guys. If you
yeah.
guys
So
have any commercial insurance needs in the junk industry, he is the man to speak to for sure. And then that brings another question. What can they expect to be paying for commercial insurance? Let's say in California, what is like the going rate per truck?
it's expensive. So I had a 2012 Isuzu NPR dump truck and a 2013 Isuzu NPR dump truck. Those two trucks cost me, when it was under my name, and I don't have like horrible record or anything, but it was like 1,200 bucks a month. Then when I got my main driver, who, he was 45, it was Chad. He had a really good record. He was 555 bucks a month, but when I added all the other employees, it went right back up to 1,200 again. Um, I couldn't even imagine the price out here for a 2024 dump truck out of 2012. It's fucking expensive. What are you paying? Or you
I'm,
don't?
I'm in the middle of actually getting that right now. I'm
Okay.
working with Toby Stubbs. I got some other quotes, but I then found out that Progressive isn't even covering junk removal. So I got a quote, but it wouldn't even went through. Once I spoke with Toby
Yeah,
and all.
it's hard in California. It's really hard to get good insurance. There's Viper, there's Progressive, and there's a couple other ones I don't remember the name of, but definitely price shop it. That's another reason I tell people to start with the truck and trailers, because you can get away with personal insurance, even though you shouldn't. But
Mm.
nobody does everything by the fucking book in the beginning. So personal insurance will always be cheaper. Commercial insurance is fucking expensive. Um, I would just assume to pay $1,000 a month. You know,
Okay.
now it could be different in smaller states, but it's expensive out here. Commercial insurance is fucking expensive.
Yeah, I definitely heard that. And the thing that I was scary with, as far as the personal insurance, soon as you put a logo on, even if you want to wrap your normal vehicle that's not even being part of, I was thinking about getting my pickup truck wrapped with my company name, forget about it, all over that. But Toby let me know, he's like, soon as you do that, God forbid you get in an accident, they're gonna make it into like that was a commercial
Oh yeah,
truck,
yeah.
and they're not gonna
If you make
try
an action,
covering you.
yep.
Yeah.
If you make a claim, even if you're driving down the street, the insurance might try to claim it was business, because how can you prove otherwise? Even if you're taking your business vehicle to the grocery store and you wrecked it, they might just say, nah, you were using it for business. We don't believe you. You never know, right?
And they're looking for any reason to drop you in the junk removal industry. I've definitely learned that it's a high risk business. Not
But
many companies want to cover you and all that. So, if you go and you put in a small claim, most probably they're going to drop you right after that claim as well, or they're going to jack your insurance up so much that it's almost you're working for an insurance company. Then after that, you're not even going to be
rip,
able to make any money.
rip the decals off right before the insurance adjuster shows up.
That's what I love about you, Andrew, is like, you show us the little loopholes and all, and you're not scared to talk about that, where a lot of people wouldn't be mentioning stuff like that, but you always find the little gray areas, and you
Yeah,
kind
dude,
of.
I lived my entire life in the gray area. my entire life. But I don't play in the with this business with autopilot. I don't play in the gray area, but everybody plays. There's not much gray area to play with in software, but even when I started this business, I was rocking personal insurance on my F-150. I was rocking personal insurance on the F-150 the entire time. I never switched over to commercial. And here's the thing, the dump trailer, actually, another pro tip, God forbid you get in a car wreck, you might be screwed. But a couple of my employees fucked up my dump trailers, right? They fucked them up. They ran it. They were going through a gate really fast. The gate closed on it. Luckily, I was able to get a fabricator and a welder to fix it. But one of my employees, he got in a car wreck, like a very minor one where it hit the side, right? Luckily, it wasn't like he was okay. Truck was okay. Kind of fucked up the truck, but it just hit the truck. So, and it wasn't like a car wreck so bad where the police had to show up. So all I did was disconnect my decaled F-150 because the decals are on the trailer. Sorry,
Yeah.
decaled F. So then I just disconnected the two, made the claim. They fixed it. There was no logos because the logos were disconnected. Hey, sorry, fucking insurance company, if you're watching.
Hopefully the insurance company ain't listening right now.
I get a fine in the mail. This is a fictional story. I'm making this up right now. This is all made up. This is just for a book.
What if?
It's fictional. But so there's ways around things, like, because this is business, man. Nobody, like, there's so many things that you should be doing that people aren't doing, like hiring and firing. There's actually paperwork that's involved. If you're going to fire, like, I didn't know this about California state law, but if you hire and fire somebody, you actually have to file paperwork with the state. And most people don't know that. If you fire somebody, you have to technically file some paperwork, but nobody does that. So there's so many things that people, and piercing the corporate veil, like, if you just transfer money from one bank account to another bank account, commingling of funds is technically, there's so many things that people do wrong
that they don't even realize.
You don't even realize. People think it's an owner's draw, but doing an owner's draw, there's actually paperwork involved with doing an owner's draw. So, and I still make that same mistake myself, like transferring money from your LLC to your personal corporation. You're piercing the corporate veil. You're not supposed to just do that. There's paperwork involved with an owner's draw to make it legit. And nobody's doing that, dude. But the thing is like, that doesn't matter unless you're in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit where you're going to get lawyers to come after you. Yeah. But, I digress. I can go on forever about this, guys. I hope I'm not boring you.
I want to reel you back in with the insurance, the claims and all. So you were in business, 2.5 years, so to say. How many claims did you put in? Like, did you have any insurance claims during that time?
So the one on the F-150, right, that I told you about.
But that was more personal.
That was personal. So one time we had an issue with an HOA community. What I told you, actually, so I just told you about the gate closing in on the dump trailer. The dump trailer I got it fixed. I just got a welder to fix all the stuff. The HOA community came after me, and I gave them my I didn't give them my commercial auto. I gave them my general liability insurance because I was just like, fuck, man, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I don't want to make a claim on Next Insurance. So I sent them the general liability insurance, knowing nothing was going to happen. And, we went back and forth for like a month, them trying to get a claim, blah, blah, blah. Then after, they just gave up. And general liability, Next Insurance declined it because they're like, no, this was involved with a moving vehicle. And the HOA community eventually just gave up because what are they gonna do? They didn't have cameras, and they could have submitted the camera evidence, and it would have been a 1 year long process, right? Because my employee just kind of drove off. It was just like and that was the only almost claim that we had. I never had an incident like ruin somebody's house where we had to file a claim. So that was it, man. A gate closing and my dumb employees trying to fucking go really fast through the gate.
Well, now that we're talking about the commercial insurance and, how much it is, and, it could be, a real problem if one of your employees gets into an accident. How would you go about hiring your employees that are going to be driving your trucks? Do you do like a background check on their driving record? Like how do you go about that? And do you
So
also implement training, at the
yeah,
beginning of that?
so hiring employees it's hard because the reality is we're hiring the reality is we're hiring minimum wage employees, right? That's that's the reality. They're making tips. Sometimes we pay, like I paid a little over minimum wage. It's 16.50 out here, probably higher, probably 17 now. I was paying $20 an hour for the driver, 17 hours for the passenger plus tips, and they made great money after tips. But the reality is, like, 25 bucks an hour. Some days are 30 bucks an hour. But the reality is you're hiring minimum wage. And I learned that minimum wage employees don't give a fuck about you. They just don't, right? This is a transitional period for them. This is a bot, like, they don't aspire to be a junk removal trash person. So the best that you can do is just try to hire the best. And that goes through interviewing, reading character, asking questions, training them and filling them out, and picking the best that you can. There's really no secret to it except, like, really kind of learning how to pick and really, like, looking at their character traits and what they say, the personality traits, and how they act in the first few days of interviewing them and the first day on the truck. But I will tell you one secret. If a personality, this is what I learned. I've heard this saying many times: hire slow, fire fast. I get it now. You take your time interviewing, right? Google, when they hire an engineer, there's 10 interviews. They test you, they see how good you are at code. They have multiple interviews, personality tests. They're trying to figure out, because they don't want to go through the fucking problem of firing you later. So they interview the fuck out of you. Now, with minimum wage, we can't put them through 10 fucking interviews. That's ridiculous. You can put them through a couple. I do the video interview, I do the in-person interview, and I do the on-the-job training with one of the employees, and I feel the vibes out for those 3 days. And you just do what you can, but there is one secret: fire fast, hire slow, do as many interviews as you can, fire the fuck out of them as soon as there's a personality slip. Now, an honest mistake, losing a tool, whatever, showing up late here and there, whatever. But as soon as I see a personality slip where they fucking overreact and they come back at me and they show me something that's like, yo, no, 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 no. I cut them immediately, because I have given second chances to personality slips. No, not a single time. So if I were to give one hiring and firing secret, get rid of them the minute. I'm telling you, the last guy that I hired from junk removal, he was the last guy that I hired. I've hired and fired 20 people now. He was on the truck for a week, and I paid him late by 3 hours. Payments come on Friday, 5 p.m. I send them their money, or payroll goes through. And he wasn't on payroll yet. So he wasn't on the payroll system, so his deposit. I was going to Zelle him because he was in training for the first week. I Zelled him at like 8 o'clock. This motherfucker had the audacity to say, "Is this how it's always going to be?" He's like, "Are you always going to pay late?" I was like, "You're fired." I fired him because he sent me this, like, audio message. He's like, "Is this how it's always going to be?" This motherfucker it's like 1 week in, and you know what I mean? So, because I knew this is what I'm going to be dealing with. And it's proven time and time again, if you have people who, like, have this, like, combative assholeness, you're going to be dealing with that. So I fucking cut them the second they give me attitude. And I promise you, this will save you so much stress, because countless times in Facebook groups, Paul, I have seen people, "I have an employee who's been fucking up for 6 months. What do I do?" Dude, cut them. Get rid of them.
Now, on the
So
other side, you find somebody really good, and you want to keep them. Obviously, it's hard to find, those good workers, but you come across a really good employee. How do you keep him?
I thought you were going to go a different direction with this. I thought you were going to say you find a really good employee, but he does something wrong and he shows up late 10, 20 minutes every day. I thought that's where you're going.
Yeah.
I was going to say keep him. If he's good in every other aspect and he has one small annoying fault, keep him. Nobody's perfect, right?
Okay.
Now, to answer your question, culture is hard. Culture is hard in this company, especially in LA, because I didn't have an office to build culture because offices are fucking expensive in LA. So
Yeah.
I didn't have like a team. So I can't, I'm going to be honest with you. Culture was not something I was able to do, but I will tell you this. I talked to my employees. I took them out for drinks every now and then, and I 2 drink minimum because you're not trying to bond with them because then they start looking at you as a friend and they think they can cut corners. I never become friends with my employees. So I built culture just by being really friendly and nice and, giving them hugs and being like, yo, you're fucking killing it, giving them tips, letting them. So I try to, I try to keep them and I try to inspire them that they can have a position with a new location. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to launch another location. Maybe, you can be the manager of this new location. And that was how I inspired them. I try to inspire them from just me kind of like leading them and letting them know there's future potential possibilities and vibing with them as much as I can without becoming friends with them. And that's another lesson that I learned from my previous companies is do not become friends with your employees if you're truly trying to build a business, because if you become friends with them, it opens up a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, I get that. And now, the other thing is, what credit card company do you use? Like, like they got the credit card machines and all. I've heard like Clover is very good for like the employees because they put that thing on there for the customer right away about percentage for tip and all that. Which one would you recommend using for startup junk removal business?
So I live and die by the Clover machine.
It is Clover. Okay.
Clover, yeah, I think I got everybody onto that. I think I even got Matt and JoJo onto the Clover machine. Clover's the best, and I have a hookup to get you the $500 credit card machine for free. So if you haven't already paid for the $500 credit machine, you guys can hit me up. I got a connection that will get you that machine for free.
Where can people hit you up? I meant to ask that before when we were talking about the coaching and the program and all. Where's the best platform for people to get a hold of you?
It's going to be Instagram, Jedi Andrew Thompson. And if we're friends on Facebook, of course, Facebook. But at Jedi Andrew Thompson on Instagram. If we're friends on Facebook, my name's Andrew Thompson. But if we're not friends, there's going to be a million Andrew Thompsons. You'll never find me. So just hit me up on Instagram.